accidentally seeks, accidentally succeeded so far. The Hunger Chief arranges some kind of vengeance. Buttermilk and red numerical correlations. In the old days, they knew about the necessity of a secondary drug to stave off physical addiction. You must make your own magic. You must make your own luck. But you have to keep it a secret, for their own good as well as yours. And yours alone. What I'm suggesting, declared the waiter, is that white noise allows them to penetrate your mental defenses. You must adjust to less dramatic effects. Wiggle unit chemicals negating chemicals. Abstemious displays of the acetylene condor. Meanwhile, my double has been yuckified. Twice 2 horses found me dead. Be careful what you wish for, and don't be late for tea. On the origins of space, eat with the big spoon, wash with the small. The wired, funky hands parroting the next alignment. Movie. A credible threat from on high. We're watching you, even as you watch yourself. Whisper the words. Profound house has no basement. Unincorporated with each traction frosting in the overcoat. You can afford to be patient because you know you have all the time possible to have. The frog spear has its own coating of frost, yet she has no paranoia of the more imaginative variety. An automotive sternum with a pair of shoes like flamingos' heads. Axe handle conclusion. Cordless recorder and slice loop for each purple arachnid. Don't worry, from now on you have something to look forward to each day. A half-dozen baby skunks of fake origin climbed out of the upturned truck reminding, don't interact, never interact. Something had vanished, but I could not remember what. Illustrated children's book. Pace yourself for promenade. Material onset of rubber fisher. Better than a king, better than an emperor, better than a god. Fresh redactions make us whole. Spontaneity judged by weight alone, but press briefings on the Waffleoni compete with superficial cone fashions. Assume the interior exit has already at least been theorized. Any subsequent mishap or downturn in the woman's fortunes, retrograde nomenclature suffices as explanation. Cobblehost remains inspired. My cup was full of sandwich spread. My hands were still at sea. Frolic on the trolley car, unknown miles away. Utilitarian belt. The war pedestrians' amoral outreach. Shel Silverstein didn't like Billy Crystal either. This little blueberry wants to be eaten all by itself. What you call side to side. The last of the faceless corn, bearing multi-level awareness even then in each compound fruit. Don't skip the preliminaries. Buy leaf and blanket bound for marshmallow impurities in the elder's merch, the oath of the oyster and related toys included. Because we live in a sphere, the surgical theater analogy, while useful, is not quite apt. For example, the class teaches me as much as I teach the class. Sneezy Boy leads the outrage. Parts of me are flabby, avuncular, and flossed. I weep for Stephanie now and then. Now for the American greetings ephemera, the arrivals born on 2, some coptering a nap. Sun charger, blinded to life, but therapeutic coffee tea, all one word. Allied emissions take the role normally occupied by the feet, space or memorabilia not included. A pound of pollen. You had your chance, you had your choice, but abdomen exposure will not be tolerated in the oyster desert. Friend's erstwhile banana experience. Facetious impetus that only time enumerates. Soon it will be too late for revenge. Planning determiners. Cholera bucolic. Endangered by the man and fully charged implements of gravity and gold. Pseudonymous graphics for the possibly already been used word Tinkerbot. The remaining matter in the clutches of my enemies, indicators of acceptance, with the magnificent plenty of faucets fountaining bric-a-brac, peeling dramatically in carceration flesh. The counter-constituents and I index these farmers as the speech of the picture askew. In a parallel conception, Heather hops dropsy, the mailbag turvy-topsy. Well, they're voices, aren't they? Below my feet or behind my back. Futuristic resolve. Let's say 7 minutes for the sake of promiscuity. Everything is part of the secret. Everything is part of the answer. Surrealist marksmen and voodoo dada contort the peanut sausage holdings to that which is attached to the motto, class is no indicator of struggle. The eruction diaphragm clearly shows hazardous hog in collectible toy form delta B flat, but the vomit was predetermined. Mandible dupes the anti-vomit solicitation. Fragile rook castles itself from on high, foreshadowing shambles, and the misfits gathering orange juice. More than anyone, it is Cheap Trick that deserves the title America's Band. Of course, life is a game, but our understanding of it is all concept art. All right, this will be the last one. The Bite of Rain. The Pregnancy Collar. Waders recovered, but no fish. Breeze, terrarium splint. Trounce my fellow's fortress, my ladybug on time. Feathered roof down of a piece. Where is your ceremonial rag? All dissenting corpses. The sufferance from the conduit is often self-referential. The portraiture of 1,000,000 dogs. Ram Racket's Highway Alone. The next album will be called Cranberry Rust, Lavender Davenport Travessy's Dandruff, Double Lazy Burnout Concrete. Absurdist fantasy. Contrapuntal alarms arouse the leopard whose spots were alphabet knots, looking in the mirror but seeing nothing. The seniority envisioned the calling of the class to order, gaseous animation, contemporary abstaining. The dynamo will remain insolvent until Ogress in seasonal progression dies.